Avaris Harris here to discuss the actual project team and the dynamics within the project implementation here of the Servant Leadership Initiative. So we actually did not recruit our own team. Bertram Perry assigned us teams, and we were able as a team to select which topic that we wanted. With this, we immediately had to iron out and become committed to one another in order to secure the votes needed to understand which initiative that we wanted to actually address for our action-based leadership project. In this regard, thankfully, we actually all agreed upon the servant leadership initiative. That created an open dynamic and immediate buy-in for the project. Usually in most teams, this does not happen. There's always one or two people that actually want to do something different or have different interests. We were very, very fortunate in the fact that we didn't have to deal with this, and we didn't have to deal with the sentiment of someone not getting what they wanted, which led to an open spirit of cooperation from the beginning. So getting the commitment was already there. We just had to get the buy-in to make sure that everyone understood what was going to be the needs of the project. Before we could do that, though, we had to establish a shared vision regarding the project to understand what direction we truly wanted to go in addition to what we wanted to see during this project and what was going to be the most important and key aspects. Since we were limited on time and the availability to do certain aspects of the project, we had multiple meetings, mostly in person, to iron out how each aspect of the project would go and what aspects we would be able to actually accomplish, and ultimately what aspects we would have to lead to the next committee that would take over the servant leadership group. With that being the case, we had those meetings always resulted in minutes being typed up by either Mardell or even Sarah, and deadlines being pushed out to make sure that every person understood what they had volunteered for. That was the key component for our group, was that everyone volunteered for each thing. There were times when people would stray away from certain assignments, but as a result, knowing that that was maybe that person's strength or that their plate was a little bit lighter, there did not seem to be any discourse when a person was assigned a certain task when they realized the amount of work that was on the other team members' plates. As a result, most of the deadlines during this project were met and project management was easy. We were able to push out all the products that we needed, and we were able to produce the results because of constant communication. I cannot stress how important communication was during our project. We had three different ways of communicating. We of course had in person, but with having members that had to commute and then members that were on in and out for leave, we did have to make sure we had a primary means, which was actually GroupMe. GroupMe being a group text message app, we were able to use it during VA hours, outside of VA hours, and even on the weekend to make sure that everyone in the project group was constantly updated on the status of different items and if any deadlines or anything else was going to be missed. This was pivotal as there were multiple times that there were deadlines that had to be pushed another 24 hours or another 48 hours, or where another group member needed to assist. Without having that communication, many of the we would have built barriers within our project and we wouldn't have been able to be as successful as we were. Another key component of GroupMe is, unlike VA email, which was our tertiary way of communication, is that everyone doesn't have a VA BlackBerry. But when when doing VA correspondence, we needed to make sure that we were using VA email, and so we could give alerts to maybe let someone know, hey, to check your email, but it was a quick and easy way that could be used 24/7. Outside of communication, we did have to, at the beginning, set ground rules and a code of conduct. So, just like any team, we wanted to make sure that we mutually respected one another. I think the biggest thing that we all said was important outside of the communication was respect of one another's time. So whenever we set meeting times, we made sure that everyone understood what time we were meeting and where, so that way we would be able to get things done and expediently without having to wait on people to show up or not being able to get whatever task we had on hand accomplished because one or two key members were not there. As a result, with this buy-in of that commitment and mutual respect, we were able to get multiple projects done, and we didn't have to vet most of the products through one another multiple times because everyone was there. By having mass participation within our project group, we were able to get products done expediently, in addition to with everyone's buy-in. So that way, everyone had a voice, and that was important because this is our project. Allowing everyone to have a voice truly created a symbiotic relationship within the team. Everyone was able to get what they wanted in some way, and the spirit of cooperation was truly there. This also allowed us to build on one another's strengths. We were able to use the organizational skills of persons on the team such as Mardell and Sarah to make sure that agendas were pushed out, to make sure deadlines were met. We were able to use the leadership skills of personnel like Pam to make sure that, hey, we have to make sure we hit these timelines. We have to make sure these commitments are followed through on. We have to make sure that this information is passed. In addition, we were able to use her resources in regards to her position there at the VA. And that's the same with Shane. Knowing different personnel, we were able to market and be able to get information and lock down certain appointments that maybe without those key personnel members, we would have been unable to do. Also, we have Shane that had skills such as carpentry and masonry, who was able to build the pillars. This wouldn't have been something that any of the rest of us would have been able to do. But because he had those skills, he was able to do a pivotal role in this project, which would be a permanent staple for the Servant Leadership Initiative, which was to build the pillars. So everyone contributed in a different way in regards to their strengths, and these same strengths, as a result, just like our jobs, if you're doing something you love, it doesn't seem like work. And so we were able to use each other's strengths to make sure that the amount of stress and the amount of exposure and extra time that it took was not cumbersome because a person was doing what they're naturally good at or what they naturally love to do. Lastly, and I've already talked about a little bit of the communication piece, but I would like to give a little bit more, is how we handle team conflict. So just like for any group, you're always going to have some sort of conflict. And we did have a little bit of conflict, but the key component in our conflict and our resolution is the fact that we had the classes crucial accountability and crucial conversations. I think these were pivotal in the fact that we were able to quickly and adequately address situations that came up, and we didn't have to do it with worry about how someone would actually receive the information because we've all had these classes. So with us all having that continuous background and understanding how important this project is, in addition to what a crucial conversation looks like and how crucial accountability truly can be to project management, we were able to quickly resolve issues and able to quickly get back on track without having to worry about hurt feelings, decrease in team morale, or decrease in the team dynamic. That was key. It was very key in the fact that it was a continuous motion. We were a locomotive and we continued to roll down the tracks without issues. Everyone has hiccups, but with us being able to handle those team conflicts quickly, we didn't have to worry about not getting things done. And that was our project team implementation. And that's how we got through this project to make it as successful as it is. I thank you for your time.